こんにちは。お邪魔します。ちょっと横になってここでいいですか?
Dr. Kenji Irie is one of a precious few Japanese-speaking doctors in Los Angeles.
あの世に行かせてもらえないですからね。
なかなか扉を開けてくださいませんよ。
ダメダメ。
For over 40 years, he has cared for Japanese-speaking patients. Today, most of his patients are elderly people living alone.
とてもありがたい存在のお方です。本当に感謝しています。
The U.S. population is aging rapidly, with 10,000 baby boomers turning 65 each day, bringing challenges to every community to care for their elders. Japanese and Japanese Americans, or Nikkei, are no different. In particular, Shin Iseis who came to the U.S. after World War II with no family to rely on are living in isolation from society. And in response, a group led by Japanese doctors was formed, KSCA, Koreisha Senior Care and Advocacy. Their goal was to rebuild a new nursing facility.
I think people are going to realize that these sort of facilities are going to be needed.
Cultural sensitivity in America is so important. So Cairo at that time was very culturally sensitive.
That's gone. That's the biggest issue. So
we don't have anywhere else to put them. And so that's the struggle.
In 2022, fundraising activity was started to achieve this goal.
I believe we can do it.
みんなで力を合わせて日系高齢者施設を建てましょう。
Dr. Keiko Ikeda is a bilingual clinical psychologist. She has treated Japanese patients for over 40 years.
こんなレポートができまして、これをお見せしたいと思います。
Dr. Ikeda, together with social welfare experts, conducted a survey of 1,500 men and women of all ages in the U.S. to find out the needs for Nikkei senior facilities.
The Japanese Americans 65 years and older, there are more Shin Iseis than those who were born and raised here. Shin Iseis are those who came to America after the war for various reasons.
These people make up the majority of the Japanese American population, and many suffer from dementia.
There are many dementia cases out there, and families are feeling helpless and wanting care for them right now.
The report confirmed that these Shin Issei, followed by Sansei, or third-generation Japanese Americans, desire a Japanese senior caregiving facility with long-term care services at a reasonable cost. This was once available to them through Cairo's network of facilities. To address these problems, Koreisha Senior Care and Advocacy, KSCA, was established.
高齢者を守る会は日系高齢者のための施設の再建を目指す団体です。
A 99-bed nursing home. Here we have in one place, you've got people of similar backgrounds and being able to share all this. This is a very important part of their well-being.
いや、いいですよ。飲みの市いうのが大きい字でね、いいから。
それでよろしいですか？
よろしいです。
はい、多数決でそう決まりました。
In 2022, they began the work to raise $80 million to rebuild nursing facilities.
Entails enormous cost. Millions of dollars.
They planned a starter event to raise funds, which was a bazaar that would involve the community.
我々が新しい施設を作ろうとしていることを皆さんに知っていただく、そういう期待を込めて企画を進めたわけです。
The Japanese community had an excellent senior care facility, Keiro. Keiro once provided the Japanese elder community with excellent culturally sensitive care. It was a nonprofit organization that operated on donations from the community, support from volunteers, and accepted Medicare and Medi-Cal.
That's gone. That's the biggest issue. So,
before I take your questions, I want to talk for a few minutes about the progress we're making on health insurance reform.
They were afraid that because there was changes that was coming because of Obamacare, that the reimbursements for nursing homes was going to go down.
ドクターたちに説明会をするから集まってほしいと言われまして出かけましたら、売却することにしたと。家で家族と一緒に暮らせる人が増えていると。施設に入らないで暮らしている人たちをサポートするような方向に持っていけば、コミュニティ全体としてはその方がハッピーなんだと。全て予測に基づいての判断だということだったと思いますけれど。
Japanese and Japanese American doctors, nurses played a major role in providing such quality care to the residents. And all of that just was broken up with the sale.
Keiro was once deeply connected with the medical history and needs of the Nikkei community. Dr. Ron Shigematsu is a Sansei family practice physician. He inherited a medical practice originally started by Dr. Kikuo Tashiro. Dr. Tashiro also started the first Japanese hospital in Los Angeles.
And in fact, the governing bodies of the specialty organizations in the US would not allow a Japanese American to be board certified. In other words, they wouldn't let them take the examination. So even though they were trained, that they were qualified to do so that they could work in the Japanese hospital and practice their specialty.
Dr. Barry Goy is a Sansei physician. He is also the president of the Japanese American Medical Association.
When the Japanese and Japanese American community got together their resources to build Japanese hospital, it allowed a place for Japanese patients to go to get their health care. And that occurred before the war and after the war. I think because of all the struggles that our forefathers went through to even practice, that's what led to the opening of Keiro.
We got 1, 2, 3.
やっぱりもう完全に日本スタイルだから、もう全て食事もいいし、ボランティアの方がクラスが多かったっていうことは幸せでしたね。
気持ちがあるっていうか、精神的にもいいところだなと思いました。
看護がとても優れてましたね。問題があって居住者から呼ばれますとベッドサイドまですぐ走る。悪臭がない、痛みとか苦痛で叫ぶ、そういう声がない。
Frank Omatsu, along with Fred Wada, George Aratani, and others, were the JA community leaders who foresaw the need to care for the aging Issei's and built the Keiro Senior Home. Frank was the last living member.
But it was George and Fred that was the backbone of Keiro. They didn't have a lot of money because they just came back from from an evacuation. But their folks were getting old and they didn't know what to do with them. 捨てられた気持ちをしないように。
The facilities were eventually sold to Pacifica Company, LLC, a real estate developer with 50 affiliate companies in the U.S. for $41 million.
Is there anything else, anything more that you can do? We need Cairo.
An ad hoc committee to save Cato was established and received countless numbers of comments in support of saving Cato from the community.
We're not talking about a few $100s, and I think that it's our responsibility, all of us.
Stop the sale of Cairo Senior Health Care.
I believe about 18 Congress representatives signed a letter to, at the time, AG Kamala Harris, asking her to hold a public hearing.
So give our legal team a big round of applause.
And we lost that case. And the day after we went to court, the ownership changed to Pacifica.
United will never be defeated.
The community's anger intensifies, and their fury turns into an uproar.
一度公聴会とか何かを開いて皆さんに納得のいく説明をしていただきたかったんですね。
なんか本当人生がなんかガラリ変わっちゃったって感じがしましたよね。
Pacifica agrees to keep the Japanese services for the next 5 years as a condition of the sale. That was the end of Cairo, which had existed for 55 years. Then, in 2021, a new problem arises. Pacifica LLC announces plans to close its intermediate care nursing facility due to a financial deficit and decides to build condominiums. Sakura ICF, an intermediate care nursing facility, was the only low-cost, bilingual center for Japanese American seniors with health problems in the country.
Cairo should have closed the ICF themselves, not Pacifica, because they knew it was going to come. They knew, in all probability, that Pacifica is going to close it because it's losing money.
Pacifica does not wait for the 5-year terms of the sale. A surprising revelation was made by a major media outlet. Residents would be evicted from Sakura ICF, and approximately 100 people died of COVID-19 at the KI nursing home. This was the largest number of people to die at any nursing facility in California. 3 congressional representatives submitted a letter to the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services regarding violations in infection control at KI Los Angeles during the COVID-19 pandemic. The response from CMS confirmed the failure by the facility to follow infection prevention and control.
In the heart of Boyle Heights in LA, a grassroots battle is being waged on 2 fronts. Dozens of residents at intermediate care facilities are facing the threat of eviction during a pandemic.
6 residents remained in Sakura ICF and could not leave due to financial problems. The Attorney General informed them that only the buyer, Pacifica, or seller, Cato, can extend the conditions of the sale.
A grant should be given to each resident so that they can go to another facility and stay for at least a year or maybe 2 years. None of the board members that we sent the letter to responded to us.
Neither Cato nor Pacifica responded to the request. Once again, the community's protests were not heard, and the community lost a valuable asset. Kotoko Toji was the last to remain at Sakura ICF.
はい、大きく息してください。で、最後の方はかなり落ち込んでいらっしゃったと思います。 ストレスが高まると出てくるような種類のアレルギーの問題がひどくなる、そういう状況が見られました。
Kotoko Toji is 92. She was born in Dalian, China, which was under Japanese rule. After World War II, she returned to Japan.
共同宣言を受諾する旨通告せしめております。
大勢日本に帰ったら今度食料なんでしょ。住むところはないし、国自体がもう戦争に負けてるんだから何にもないでしょ。ひどかったですよ。だからよう今まで生きてたと思いますよ、本当に。
It was a very stressful time for her, but then I think it instilled in her good values about how to live a very simple and humble life.
今のところ特に息苦しいとかいうのはないですか？
何もないですか。
一両でいいと思います。
Dr. Irie counseled Mrs. Toji, who was not sure where to go.
先生はお目にかかった時は思いました。いい先生にね、お目にかかっても本当幸せ。はい。
I just feel betrayed. This is my mother's life, and an organization that I put my trust in sold them out.
Takayuki Miyauchi is 95. He moved from Sakura ICF to KI Los Angeles and became infected with COVID.
He needed oxygen, and he was really very weak. I was worried that he was going to die.
After surviving, his daughter took him into her home to ensure his safety. He and his wife Kazuko currently suffer from dementia.
Things that are happening now, they don't remember. Even COVID, they really don't remember.
93 years old.
95.
After almost 2 years of home care, their dementia continues to worsen each year.
Their mental state is more like toddlers, like children. They're both very, very curious, nosy, and we had to put locks on all of the doors.
そして言うこと聞いていい子だったらアイスクリーム買ってあげる。Okay?
It's hard on everybody, but she takes the brunt of it because language barrier.
はい、おテレビ見る？はい。テレビを
見らんでいいよ。
テレビを出してて。
で、自分でしなさい。
Especially with the dementia, they lose their English and they need somebody that can speak their home language.
今日は火曜日20日。
ここ
？7 days
これが今
日。I don't get a break.
But I knew it was going to be that difficult, and I told her, it's hard to bring someone if they can't really take care of themselves. They can't manage their medications. They can't feed themselves. I said, it's going to be worse than a little kid. And she argued, saying, she has to, because at the time COVID was going on, and it was a bad situation at the retirement homes.
I feel like I cannot be the loving daughter and care for them in the loving way that I should.
They search for a caregiver in the neighborhood who could care for them in Japanese, but are unable to find one.
He grew up in Japan, and after the war, he immigrated to the United States using the Refugee Act, and that was back in 1955. So first, in the United States, he started as picking grapes. So he worked very hard.
孫がね、9人乗った。みは本当にありがたい。
They had a hard life in Japan, and that's why they came, because they wanted a better life for their kids. they took care of us. And so I wanted to care for them. But I'll be honest, it's not easy for me to care for them the way they cared for me. I feel like I'm disappointing myself and them.
まあ長生きさせてもらって本当にありがたいと思ってる。
Yeah, とっても、
ありがたいね。
いや、みんなありがたいと思う。Yeah, Dad.
That's right.
Now at her physical and emotional limits due to caregiver fatigue, Joyce is faced with a decision.
Sometimes I wonder if they should even be here. Sometimes I feel like maybe being at Cato would be better for them because I lose my patience with them.
So the event is supposed to be over.
While the rebuilding of the facility is urgent, the efforts are supported by the activities of various members.
Are we having both a silent auction?
Eileen Yoshimura, a third-generation Japanese American, is a member of the task force to rebuild a Nikkei nursing home.
The biggest challenge we have is finding property, of course. It's very difficult, but I believe we can do it.
Her father was a Kibe, or second-generation Japanese American who spent his childhood in Japan. While he was in the World War II concentration camp, he became engaged to her mother. After their marriage, they returned to their hometown and opened a barbershop.
There used to be two barbershop chairs, one for my mother and one for my father. They had a lot of Japanese and Japanese American customers. And I would just sit right here like this, and my mom would be cutting hair, and I would just tell her, oh, today I did this and today I did that. Oh yeah, my parents cut my hair, and when you're a teenager, right, you want long hair, but they cut my hair all the way up here with the little curl, and oh, we fought all the time.
Eileen grew up watching her parents work hard, but it was not until she was an adult that she began to understand the value of their lives.
My father came to the United States for a better life. But when he got here, they put him and my mother into camp. And what hurt me is I could not be there to help him.
Eileen wants to make this movement a success out of gratitude for her parents and future generations. But it's not just her.
There are so many like my parents. We cannot forget where we came from, and we cannot forget that even the Shin Issei, the new immigrants coming over now, as a community, we need to take care of all of us. You're going to appreciate being in that nursing home.
One week to go until the bazaar. There is still a lot of work to be done.
一生懸命働いて少しでも KSCA の収入を増やしたいです。
With no fundraising experience, few resources, and no hope for large donations, they are starting from scratch.
ファンドレイジングでお金が十分集まるなんて思えないけど、みんなに知ってもらうっていうのがすごく大切だと私は思ってるのでね、みんなで頑張りたいなって思ってる。
これをやるっていうふうに決断されたのはどうしてだったんでしょう。
高齢者を守る会を結成して、当初はもちろん敬老理事会に非常に不満でした。すぐには割り切れない面がありました。しかしこの問題に関しては単なる批判運動ではそれだけに終わってしまう。それでは日系の高齢者に対する責任を果たしたことにはならないと強く感じたわけです。
We felt just from the outcome of the survey and from the demands of the community that it was just absolutely necessary to go in the direction of rebuilding.
ありがとうございました。
However, most of the current KSCA members themselves are seniors. In the future, fundraising activities will not be able to continue indefinitely.
Okay, I will write some notes about this.
Under these circumstances, one young woman has become involved in this activity. Caroline is a 21-year-old pre-med student at Stanford University. She is also the captain of the university kendo team. Her Japanese grandmother suffered a stroke and was cared for at the Cato nursing home. Caroline and her parents also provided care to her grandmother.
I know it was stressful. My parents always made a point of making it less stressful for us kids and my siblings and myself.
The experience gave her invaluable insights into the issues of elder care.
There will be, as you said, issues, but we cannot ignore those issues, and they have to be addressed. They are, our elders and are the most valuable part of our society. So, man, I don't know even how to put it into words. She taught me without any words, which is pretty special.
She is assisting with KSCA's grant application and hopes to work in the medical field in the future. Finally, the day of the bazaar arrives. The participants bring everything from household items they no longer use to family treasures.
すごいですよ。これだけのご協力皆さんにいただいて。よろしくお願いします。
皆で力を合わせて日系高齢者施設を建てましょう。
はい、ありがとうございます。はい、ありがとうございます。
The participants don't just bring goods to sell, they also bring their own well wishes.
やはり一人で寂しく家でおられる方たくさんいますので、少しでも高齢者の守る会にお役に立てればいいなと、そういうふうに考えております。
I think overall people are concerned about everybody's elderly health and the aging process. Great idea, getting as many Kenjinkais interested as possible today as in the future as well.
いや、1ドル寄付すればありがたいです。
I hope that my children, and I believe my sisters feel the same, that their children will not have to struggle with caring for us as we age. And we all care for our seniors, and we want them to be able to live in a nice facility.
The younger participants brought their own thoughts and feelings. They were Sanseis and Yonseis, third and fourth generation Japanese Americans. They expressed their hopes to spend their golden years in a culturally sensitive facility.
Being in a Japanese facility does provide comfort. And there's a part of me that always wants to spend more of my retirement years there, because that's part of my heritage.
Thank you very much.
我々の目標は非常に遠いといいますか、大きな夢というか、そういう大変なプロジェクトですね。
Maybe in terms of financial donations, I have no idea. But I think much more important than that was the connections, reconnections that was made.
We are all connected. We Americans of Japanese ancestry are all connected. In a country that sees no difference between our faces or cannot tell whether we were born in America or Japan, we are all connected. When the 55-year legacy of a Japanese and Japanese American community caring for its elders came to an abrupt, tragic, and avoidable end, we had a choice to make: accept it or stand firm. Shigata ganai or gambaru. We choose gambaru in restoring compassion for our aging community.